In today's episode of Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures, Frank tries to undermine our entire podcast by giving us new names.
Bill tries his best, but fails at interpreting the French lyrics of a Canadian song.
And we find out what a beautiful difference it makes when you substitute a banjo for a guitar.
You're listening to our walk through the Stampeders' Sweet City Woman.
Frank, there are some songs I never thought we would do on this podcast. There were songs that I actually never really liked until we started doing the podcast and things kind of turned around. Often they're the ones you choose.
And I'm really excited that today you brought Freak on a Leash by Korn to the table.
That'll be a Patreon members only. Once we figure out, how to get onto Patreon and how to do a members only thing.
Yeah.
But this one is not Freak on a Leash. This is Sweet City Woman by the Stampeders. And when I was younger, I don't think I ever really liked hearing it because I felt like I heard it all the time.
Okay, I loved hearing this when I heard it.
Okay. And I'm the one who's bringing this song to the table.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was a couple of years ago, my good friend of the podcast, Rich Beckett, gave me a mix CD. I would often give out mix CDs as a year-ender thing.
Yeah, when you say would, you currently still do.
Yeah, okay.
You burn CDs still.
Yes, yeah, it's tough because it's clear no one's listening to them because they don't have CD players. It's tough. Things are changing here, Frank. But Rich would make CDs just because, and they'd be either around a theme or just around whatever he was interested in. And he'd throw in songs that weren't even of the same era. They just end up in there. And so he gave me a CD, and about 3 or 4 tracks in, suddenly I heard this song, but I didn't know what it was because I wasn't looking at the track listing. Mm-hmm. And all I could think when I heard the beginning was, oh, this is a really good song. And so here I am bringing this guilt-free pleasure to you.
Now, when you say you mean me specifically, because this is my personal Patreon episode only?
No. This is for the you is the vous.
Good use of the language.
You got that. We'll be coming back to French later in this episode.
Yeah, I'm a little bit pumped because I think this is our first song that has French in it.
That's right.
Have we done one? We've covered Rock Voisine and Celine Dion, but I don't know if we've done a song that has the French language in it.
How about Tears Are Not Enough?
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, okay, yeah.
And we'll come back to the French later, and we'll talk Northern Lights as well. There's a connection I'm hoping we can make.
Oh, perfect.
All right. So, the Stampeders, not named after the Calgary football team.
No, but after the Stampede in Calgary.
Actually, they claim that it was for the Stampeders who were doing the gold rush thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know they called them Stampeders.
No, I thought they were called Gold Rushians.
No, not Gold Russians, but that's a new turn of phrase. Well done. Now, they didn't stay in the Calgary area, whether at the Stampede or with the CFL team.
Yeah, because they started in 64, but they were called the Rebounds at the time. And there was 5 of them in the band. It was Rich Dodson, Len Romer, Brendan Little, Kim Burley,
right,
whose real name is Kim Meyer, and Kim's brother, Ray's Holiday, whose real name is Al Meyer. Now, I am always a little bit jealous of artists or musicians who can just pick their own awesome name. If you were to rename your name for the podcast, if you were to pick a different name for yourself for the podcast, what do you think it would be? Like an awesome name?
Oh.
Because I've thought about this for a long time.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd still call it Guilt-Free Pleasures, but we call it like Kyle and Steve's Guilt-Free Pleasures. I'd be Steve, you'd be Kyle.
That is the worst idea ever. You didn't even come up with it's Ears O'Malley and RLG. Instead, it was Kyle and Steve.
Yeah.
That is such a horrible joke.
It's not a joke.
Oh, it's not.
I thought seriously about
this is just horrible. I don't even know what to do with that. I'm just carrying on. And the first single was called Carry Me, so I guess that is something. They carried themselves away from Alberta, renamed themselves Stampeders, and ended up in the bustling metropolis that was Toronto in the late 60s.
Yeah.
All right, so in Toronto, they end up losing some of those brothers.
Yes.
It seems like the older brothers all decided they needed to get real jobs, so to speak, and they moved back to Calgary.
Yeah. Probably worked at the Stampede.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess they were still Stampeders.
That's right.
Just not in the band.
That's right. Okay. So the three of them, I don't think they even know. Who's the three remaining? You got them there?
Yeah, the trio was Rich Dodson, Ronnie King, and Kim Burley.
Okay, so Rich Dodson. Okay. Rich Dodson said they flipped a coin to find out what instruments they'd be playing.
Oh, seriously?
I'm not sure that's true. That doesn't sound true to me, but he said it, so we'll have to take him at his word.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who wrote this song, Sweet City Woman, and he said various stories about it. The main one he pushes, I think, is that it was about Toronto.
Yes.
But he also said to another outlet that there's a lot of women in Toronto. So it might have been about a composite of women in Toronto.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because there's lyrics in the song that it sounds very much like Toronto.
Right.
But then there's stuff that makes no sense because Toronto's not a countryside.
So this is the second single off of their album Against the Grain.
Yeah.
I think their debut album. The first song was Carry Me, which did quite well on our adult contemporary charts.
It
Canada.
Got to number 1 in Canada on the AC charts.
Right. And so according to Dodson, the record company wanted a happening second single.
Okay.
And the band felt that Sweet City Woman would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And the record company didn't think anyone would play a song that had banjo in it. And so this was the sort of issue. And he said, and I can only think of this being said in the best hoser accent, that it won't imitate because I think we already have our Canadian accents here.
I think we do.
Yeah. Is that, Chum FM, they played the Beatles and they got a tuba, right? And so we can get ourselves a banjo playing and the rest of the country is going to love it.
Okay, you said you weren't going to do an accent, but that was an amazing Canadian accent.
Well, you see, Frank, when I went to university, I did my best to hide the Canadian accent so I would be more hireable.
You went to university in Canada, though.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. It turned out Chum FM really did like what they heard.
Yeah, because this song went to number 1 in Canada, number 8 in the States.
Yeah, it did really well. So it kind of sold like hotcakes in Canada. It sold 3 million copies worldwide as of today.
Yeah.
It made a huge impact here, and they had a couple more singles. They even had one with Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, Hit the Road Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it didn't do well in the States at all, but Canada loves their Stampeders.
And they love their Wolfman Jack. He shows up in a couple things. Oh, he shows up in that Guess Who song.
That's right.
Clap for the Wolfman.
Yeah.
That's kind of a Canadian thing.
Yeah. But with the banjo, I guess when it came time to record the song, Rich Dodson thought that, the banjo is going to give it this neat little texture or sound.
Yeah.
So he borrowed one and basically he tuned it like a guitar.
Right.
And was playing it like a guitar, apparently.
Yeah. And I was talking to our good friend Mike V.
Yeah.
Who said that it was probably a tenor banjo from what he's looked at because he keeps track of banjos. Yeah. But he said when you play a banjo, you can just play it like open strings.
Yeah.
I pretended to know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Where you just move your hands along the frets.
Yeah.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the tunes mean. People talk about tuning, and I usually nod. And I feel pretty good about the fact that people believe that I understand what they're saying.
If you say it with enough confidence, everyone's going to believe it.
Yeah.
When people are talking about tuning a guitar, just say tune it and drop D, and then people are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I think that's a thing.
It is. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Try it.
Okay. Question for you, Frank. Could this song have been the hit it was without the banjo?
I think it would be really difficult.
Right.
But there are unique instruments all throughout it. It's almost a song that's on the level of a parody song.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so cartoony.
That's right. I think we'll get through it when we do our analysis, but there is one part of it that I'm not sure if I like or hate.
Yeah. Is that the part that I showed you?
It's that guitar.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Like, I kind of like it, and then I hate it, and then like it again, all at the same time.
Yeah.
I go through a lot of stages of
Mhm.
agony and ecstasy, I guess.
So before they got their break with this album, they were featured on a couple of TV variety shows. I'm assuming it's probably on CBC.
Oh,
Would
for
be
sure.
my guess.
Yeah.
And that was because of the interest of a Canadian TV producer, Mel Shaw, who ended up managing the band.
And we talked about this with Richard Fry about how CBC kind of got the careers going of all these different bands. There was the Guess Who, there was the Poppy Family, there was Anne Murray, amongst many others.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to go, Canada.
So this song, it comes out in 71.
Right.
And that's when it hit its peak and everything. And the band was together for, I guess, another 6 years, and they broke up in 77.
Right.
That's when Dodson started his own label called Marigold Records. And the band ended up reuniting in 1992 on one of the most Canadian shows ever, The Deanie Petty Show.
Yes, I remember the Deanie Petty Show. And then they got together and made an album called, what was it? Better Than Workin'?
Sure Beats Workin'.
I
in
hate
98.
that. Oh, I hate it because the title sounds like the back of a boat. You know when they put silly names on boats?
Yeah.
Hardly Workin'.
Yeah.
Sure Beats Workin' or Sure Beats Workin'. I hate it. I hate that title. It almost made me take the song off.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm not going to listen to a band who has an album title that sounds like it should be painted on the back of a boat.
Okay. So if you did have a boat, what would you name it? Because I've thought about this too.
Naughty, naughty, but spelled like a yacht.
Oh, okay. Nice. See, if I had a boat, I'd go the whole pun game and call it Yeah Boy, but spelled boy, B-U-O-Y.
Right. Okay. So it would actually sound like how they say boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're never going to survive the revolution with boats
No,
like
we
that.
are not.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
This might be actually evidence against us that we're not good people.
and they played the banjo while St. Catherine's burned. All right. On that note, let's do our analysis of Sweet City Woman. All right, there's the first 22 seconds there, Frank. We got that banjo strum, and then I have a trotting bass, like a horse trotting from the Calgary Stampede to the CN Tower.
Oh, okay.
Was CN Tower built in 67 or
No.
was it 75?
It was in the 70s, yeah.
Okay. How would you even know how to get to Toronto then?
Yeah, you had no giant tower to guide your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you just had to go on a hope and a prayer.
Yeah. Do you remember growing up and looking across the lake and I can see the CN Tower, and it was such a big thing, like on a clear summer day?
Oh, yeah, it's still a huge deal to
Yeah.
me because now you can also see the Sky Dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rogers Center, but yes.
Sky Dome, Frank.
Sky Dome, I know.
Have you ever seen the movie Going Down the Road?
No.
Oh, man, it's so depressing. It's Easterners who are looking for work,
Oh,
and they go to Toronto to find it,
Oh.
and it just doesn't go well. I think a grocery store guy dies while they're trying to steal food from like a Loblaws or something.
Okay, that's so depressing.
It is. It was like one of the key Canadian films of all time.
Oh, really?
Going Down the Road, yeah.
Oh. Was
Yeah.
it a CBC joint or?
No, I don't know. It's Bruce Cockburn was on the soundtrack.
Okay, let's talk about this song.
Yeah. Because this is a lot happier.
Yeah.
They didn't see Sweet City Woman and Going Down the Road, but these guys did. Okay.
And in that intro, that trotting intro where they're riding their horses to Toronto, there is obviously the banjo, but you have that cowbell in there too, right?
Yeah.
Which is indicative of the cattle that they're herding as they're trotting to Toronto.
I feel we have a movie going on here.
I think we do. Have you seen City Slickers?
Yeah, but I like to picture it as a National Film Board movie from the 70s that was funded by CBC or funded by just the government of Canada.
Yeah.
And there's so many great, horrible movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll post one of the SCTV versions of these movies.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
All right. It does set up the song. I mean, I'm trying to imagine hearing this for the first time if I was living in Canada in 1971.
Yeah.
It'd be incredible to hear the banjo, and you would think, well, what am I hearing here? And it's not quite a country song. It's something else. It's a sort of in-between thing.
Yeah, it's a rock song with a banjo, and it is a fun fun song.
Well, this is it, because it's a guilt-free pleasure because of the amount of people I've talked to who I think hate the song.
Yeah.
Like, really hate the song.
And you used to hate the song.
I did, but now I've come to see this is fun.
It's a great song.
Here we go, verse 1. Ready for this, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, get ready for some deep, deep analysis. While I'm on my way to the city lights, to the pretty face that shines her light on the city nights, and I gotta catch a noon train, I gotta be there on time. Oh, it feels so good to know she waits at the end of the line.
Well, I'm on my way to the city lights, to the pretty face that shines her light on the city nights. And I gotta catch a noon train, I gotta be there on time. Oh, it feels so good to know she waits at the end of the line.
All right, some interesting things here, Frank.
Yeah.
Now, this should be simple. However, the word noon threw me off because it's all about city lights and night.
Yeah.
Is he coming from Ottawa? Because it's got to take at least 6 hours to 7 hours. If it's during the winter, it's going to be dark at 6.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too, because I used to travel to Toronto via the GO train for about 2 years when I was working there. And the trip from where I caught the GO train in Burlington to downtown Toronto was about 45 minutes.
Right.
So if he's leaving at noon, he's obviously not leaving from Burlington.
Right.
He's not even leaving from St. Catharines.
No, because that's only 2 hours. So he could be coming from Montreal. I mean, he's from Calgary. The Calgary noon train's not going to get there by nighttime.
No. But apparently they did very well in Montreal.
Yeah.
So they always drew a crowd when they played in Montreal. So maybe this is a song about the travel from Montreal to Toronto.
I think we may have unearthed this.
Yeah, that's about a 7-hour drive.
Yep.
So train, depending on the stops, let's math this out real quick. So if you leave at noon, you get there by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, the city lights are on.
And it's 1971, so our trains in Canada were still run by horses. The horsepower was literally horses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was always darker in the 70s.
It was. That's right. We didn't get rid of pollution.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot like London in the mid 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing about the Stampeders listening to their album is they did a lot of American referencing where they would sing about Oklahoma or Arizona or something like that. And this is a common criticism of Canadian bands, that they weren't able to sing about their homeland.
Yeah.
So I know they're singing about Toronto, but sometimes I wonder with this band if they're actually willing to admit.
Yeah, maybe this is something like New York City or something like that.
I need you to say that in a Canadian accent.
I don't know if I can do that in a Canadian accent. New York City, eh? Oh, that was terrible.
It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Going up to New York.
Taking the train down to New York.
Well, that's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little Fargo-esque.
Yeah, we
There is
have connections.
I think there's a commonality there.
If we do have Canadian accents, could someone let us know?
Someone please just write us and let us know. Do we have Canadian accents? Well, obviously, when I was traveling, I was in Australia and I was talking to one of the people I was working with, and I said something, I don't understand your accents. They're like, what accent? You're the one with the accent here. It's just like, what? No, I'm the normal one. You guys are all weird.
That's a good point, Frank. It took me a while to realize that we also had accents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we made it. We got to that. We figured out this is a train coming from Montreal. We also figured out we have accents.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also could be a train going from Toronto to New York City.
You sound a bit more like Nick Cave. Is that the Australian thing? Or
It might be. I
okay.
don't know.
All right. So chorus time, Frank, because we already got the analysis down there. Yeah. I think we're good. I mean, there was a pretty face that they're waiting for. If it's a pretty face at Toronto, or
is this a metaphor for Toronto, that Toronto's a beautiful city? I've heard people say internationally that they love coming to Toronto because it's a beautiful, well-kept city. Every time I go to Toronto, I'm like, oh, this isn't very clean.
This is how I feel about our own city, though, too, to be fair. Someone once told me they liked coming to St. Catharines, and I said, really?
Yeah.
Have you traveled much?
That was your friend from
Paris.
Paris, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we got something going on. All right, let's get to this chorus here, Frank.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet city woman. I can see your face. I can hear your voice. I can almost touch you. Sweet, sweet city woman. And the banjo and me, we got a feel for singing. Yeah, yeah.
Sweet face, I can hear your voice, I can almost touch you. Sweet, sweet city woman. On the banjo and me, we got a feel for singing. Yeah, yeah.
So I like that if this is a metaphor for the big city of Toronto,
Yeah.
because I can see your face, I can hear your voice. So you can picture him. I don't know if you can actually hang your head out the window of a train as it's
Yeah.
going down the tracks. I don't think so. But as they're pulling into Toronto, you see the skyline. And of course, I'm picturing it now in like 2025 where there's condos and the CN Towers there and all this other sort of stuff. But there was a distinct skyline that Toronto had back in 71 as well. Obviously not as built up.
Right.
But you can picture him, the excitement looking out the train window and just like, I can see your face. I can see Toronto. I'm excited to be back here.
I can almost touch you, right?
Yeah.
That almost touch you is the thing that jumps out at me, because if it's almost touching someone, they're not getting there.
Yeah.
So it's this sort of desire.
But then also the I can hear your voice. So that's the sounds of the city,
Yeah.
which I guess inside the train you're not hearing, but he can picture or hear the sounds of the city in his mind.
Okay.
I like that.
Now we're on a roll here,
I
Frank.
think so. It only took us 28 minutes to get here.
Okay. And now we get to the very Canadian part of the song.
Yeah.
Just like Tears Are Not Enough, they have the French part because, well, of course, our country is bilingual and we have a rich, rich culture in Quebec. And Montreal, of course, is a special place for the Stampeders.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned earlier, they played at the Expo in 67 and they ended up gathering a pretty good following. So whenever they were in Montreal, people were responding well.
Yeah, they always drew a crowd there.
And so they put these really heartfelt French lyrics into the song. So, bon, c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 bon. How'd I do there, Frank?
Really, really bon.
Yeah. Ooh, merci.
C'est bon, 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 c'est bon, bon, bon. C'est bon, 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 bon. C'est bon, 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 c'est bon, bon, bon. C'est bon, 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 bon. So long, ma, so long, pa, so long. Neighbors and friends.
So for those of us who don't speak French, bon, c'est bon means good, that's good.
All right, we're going to have to reach out to our Francophone friends to see if bon c'est bon is the thing they would say.
Yeah, I think that they would.
Yeah. Okay, so bon c'est bon. But it is a really fun part of the song.
Oh, yeah, because it bounces, because the bon, c'est bon, 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 like it's really happy and fun.
Yeah, I had no idea what they were saying. I just thought they were saying bon, 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 bon. I didn't know it was French.
Yeah.
Did you know?
No.
Okay.
And it's funny because towards the end of the song, you get a similar bounciness in the outro with the background lyrics.
Right, okay. But this is such a unique part of the song. It really does separate it. And this is why it's not a dumb song at all. It's like, well, this is a kind of an interesting little twist. It's not a bridge, really. I mean, it's maybe...
It's kind of a bridge.
It's an early bridge.
It's a very early bridge.
Wow. Going right over into Hull, hey?
Or Gatineau.
Yeah, my goodness. Okay, so, but then there's the little part after the bon c'est bon. It's so long ma, so long pa, so long neighbors and friends. Now, this is a leaving song.
Yes.
No.
Because he's leaving for the big city.
Yeah. I hope he's going to be okay.
I hope so too.
I always feel in those songs, a big city is going to eat you up and spit you out.
Yeah. It's like Maneater, which was supposed to be about New York City.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Good.
Thanks, Kyle.
My neighbor Kyle is going to hate listening to this.
Neighbors and friends. Like a country
So we got that banjo leading us back, hey? Right? And so here's verse 2. I think it's verse 2.
Verse 2, yeah.
We just had a bunch of bridges.
Yeah.
Like a country morning, all smothered in dew. Ah, she's got a way to make a man feel shiny and new. And she's singing in the evening old familiar tunes. And she feeds me love and tenderness and macaroons.
like a country morning, all smothered in dew. I just got a way to make a man feel shiny and new. And she'll sing in the evening, old familiar tunes. And she feeds me love
See, this is why I think this song is almost a parody song. Macaroons, what other pop song or rock song has macaroons referenced in it? I think this might be the only one.
Yeah. Macarena comes close.
Yeah.
But it's not macaroons.
No.
Now, there's macarons, macarons and macaroons. The macarons are like those weird sugary things that look like hamburgers made of...
I thought those were macaroons.
No, those are macarons. Macaroons are they're like a coconut-based thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
they're often interchangeable.
Okay.
I hope he got this right.
I hope he got the right things that he wanted. I would hate to be the one that shows up and, yeah, you get love and tenderness, but you get macarons when you're expecting macaroons? That'd be terrible.
If she's banging the banjo with old familiar tones, that could work, but it wrecks the whole song. It is kind of strange. Like a country morning, all smothered in dew. You know how I think of...
Yeah, you're not a big fan of dew.
No, it's doo-doo to me, right? It's just wet and wrecks your shoes.
Yeah,
I mentioned this before, and there's nothing worse than getting grass stains on your nice white socks.
Yeah, but also the descriptive word of smothered.
It's terrible.
Covered in dew? That would be better. Smothered just makes it sound dirty.
Right. And also, what's he singing about? Sweet city woman.
Yeah.
But it's like a country morning.
Yeah.
Hey, they're two different things. Either you're going to the country or you're coming to the city.
Yeah. You're either eating peaches or you're riding that train into the city.
That's right. There's a whole other thing, right? So perhaps a criticism there, or he can only speak in language of the country because that's what he knows.
Yeah, if he's coming from the country, and if this is still a metaphor for the city, she's got a way to make a man feel shiny and new. So when you go into the big city, you feel like a new person. You almost get to reinvent yourself.
Right.
Just like we did when we changed the name of the podcast to Kyle and Steve's Guilt-Free Pleasures.
You have a knack for sticking to jokes that don't work.
I know.
And you just go through it.
Feeds me love and tenderness and macaroons.
It's hard to even come to grips with the macaroon part other than knowing that it's super playful. And the banjo playing is playful. The idea of even coming up with a banjo on his way to the studio, like, I'm going to try this out.
Yeah.
And it totally works.
Yeah, exactly. Because it could have been completely disastrous.
Right. And the macaroons works too, right?
Yeah. It works, but it's just love and tenderness. Those two things go with one other thing, and that's time.
Macaroons, love and tenderness. Macaroons, love and tenderness.
That was the original title for Michael Bolton's song. Then he changed it, which I think was a good move.
Yeah, it made all the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we didn't talk about this when we talked about the chorus earlier, but I need to talk about the guitar.
Yeah, you're not sure if you like it or not.
I don't know. I could see myself working at, say, the Eaton Center. We're going to keep it Toronto-centric.
Yeah.
There's also this great Christopher Plummer movie that takes place in the Eaton Center, but we're not going to talk about that. Someone dies on an escalator as it's going up, but it just feels like you're at the Eaton Center.
Did he get his foot caught in the escalator?
Horrible way to go.
I had my foot caught in the escalator as a child once.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Like at the end where it was like rammed in?
No. On the side. I got it jammed in the side there. And this is completely karmic justice because twice that day, I was just being a brat of a kid. I hit the emergency stop button on the escalators. My mom was obviously with me and she kept yelling at me about that. And then I got my foot caught in the escalator.
Oh, no.
I completely forgot about that until right now.
Well, you blocked it out.
Yeah.
Was Christopher Plummer lying there beside you with all of the spoils from his stealing from the bank or something?
No. Is that what happened in the movie?
Actually, I don't know because it's been a long time since I saw it.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, let's say I'm working at the Eaton Center.
Yeah.
And I got to hear this song every hour. I'm going to go crazy. Even if it's a good song, it's the...
That guitar sounds a lot like the Allman Brothers band Jessica. The guitar work in that? It reminds me so much of that. And this song just reminds me of a lot of different songs as well. It has a very Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel feel to me as well.
And I still don't know if I hate it. Even as you bring up those songs, like, yeah, I don't know if I like those songs. I kind of do, I kind of don't. It's hard to make your peace with that. And I feel like now I'm doing a Muppet voice.
I thought it was maybe a talking cat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're not a big fan of the guitar. I kind of really like it.
Okay. Well, it's going to come up here in the interlude.
Yeah.
Right? So that interlude has the guitar, right? Doing its thing as well. But there's some almost jazz-like vocals going on, like almost scatting.
It almost sounds cartoonish
Yeah.
because it has this big sweep up, and I don't remember exactly how it goes. I can't vocalize what it resembles, but it just has this like to go with our cat sounds.
Yeah, that's a cat in heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sweeps up and it's really cartoony.
And then we get to repeated choruses, right? I mean, Sweet City Woman comes up a bunch of times here.
Yeah, we have that chorus. The outro is sweet, 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 sweet city woman. But the backing vocals are amazing because
La
they
la
keep...
la 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 la.
Do you have la 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 la? I have banana, banana. So I think they're talking about bananas.
No, that's a good call because I know on my lyric sheet was la la las. Actually, that just came up, but it's actually ba 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 ba.
Yeah, I think it's banana.
Bananas.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the song is bananas.
It is. And why I thought we could just analyze this so easily is also bananas.
Everybody's sweet, 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 sweet city woman. Sweet, 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 sweet city woman.
And that takes us to the end. I mean, it's a good 3 minutes, I think. Perfect radio song.
It's not a long song at all.
Does exactly what it needs to do.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money Richard Dodson made on this because he's the sole writer.
Yeah. Well, I streamed it at least 3 times this week. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
He's made a couple cents.
That's being generous.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, there is an official video.
Yeah.
We watched it.
Which was recorded well later in their lives.
Yeah.
It was probably recorded after they reunited and released that album for that boat that you hate.
Yes, totally. And they look very happy, though.
The drummer, I don't think I've seen anyone happier in my life.
Yeah. Maybe the guy in the real life video.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was pretty happy, too. But still, this guy's happy.
Yes.
So they show some images of the early years, too. And it's kind of neat to see them as they've aged and they look like they're doing fine, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's funny seeing people in the 70s and when they decide to get their hair cut. Like my dad had sideburns in his wedding picture.
Yeah.
And so it's just this strange thing that at some point he decided to cut them.
Yeah.
And for myself as a kid, the idea of like changing your hairstyle is really kind of like the Doctor Who transformation where there's a new character.
Yeah.
My mom got her hair cut at some point when I was 2 or 3, I think. And I thought I had a different mom. I've never actually told anyone this. Mom, I love you, but what happened to the first mom with the longer hair?
Like in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. Yeah, totally like that.
I can't believe Will Smith got your mom fired.
So I'm conscious of this because I have a beard right now and I'm thinking of shaving it off because I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
But with Elijah, I'm thinking of slowly taking it down like a few inches at a time till it slowly disappears so he knows I'm the same person.
You should go back in time and tell that to my dad in the early 80s when he shaved his beard and my sister cried because she didn't recognize my dad at all. He kept the mustache.
Right.
But he shaved the beard completely.
Right.
And I think my sister didn't talk to him for like a week or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was traumatized.
Okay. I'll also make sure your sister sees me as I shave back
exactly.
the beard.
You don't want to traumatize her too much.
No. Okay. All right. Fun video.
Fun video.
Good.
Not much to say about it other than
no.
it's just the band doing their thing.
Now, there is a French version of this song.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Other than just that early bridge?
Yeah. And I'm really curious about it because it's called Oui tu es mon ami. Now, I have grade 7 French immersion, Frank, so I know you might have been thrown off by how quickly I said that.
I know mon ami is my friend.
Right. So, yes, you are my friend.
Oh.
Which doesn't sound like Sweet City Woman.
No, not at all.
So I feel, and I don't want to pigeonhole our friend Melanie here, but I feel we might need to talk to her about the lyrics because they won't show up in my Google searches. And if she could tell us whether or not this actually is the same thing as Sweet City Woman. because it wasn't written by Richard Dodson. It was written by, I believe it's Peter Lavoie.
So I typed into Google Translate Sweet City Woman, and the French version is Douce Femme de la Ville.
That's totally not what this is.
No, not at all.
All right, let's listen to a sample of it, despite the fact that both you and I have weak French.
Yes.
Donne-moi ta bouche et tes caresses et ton amour. Oui, tu es mon ami. Je te vois déjà, tu es près de moi, je te prends dans mes bras. Oui, tu es mon ami. Mon banjo et moi, nous volons te le chanter.
Okay, I'm going to do some deeper research, and actually, we're going to insert it here, Frank. I'm going to find out who wrote the lyrics.
Okay.
I'm going to ask our good friend Mel.
Yeah. If she can translate.
Translate and tell us her assessment of it, if
Gotcha.
it works.
Because some of the lyrics were the same.
Yeah,
Some of them.
some of them.
I have very remedial French.
Right. I will say this, that the bon c'est bon part was a total missed opportunity to give an English sort of thing.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast, Mel.
Thanks for having me back.
And we do apologize because we know there's so much more to you than just a person we bring on every time we want to talk about French lyrics. We know that you have a wider array of interests and talents. And so apologies to begin here, but also help us out, please, on Sweet City Woman.
Well, I would like to say I didn't really need to be called in this time because despite you perhaps not having faith in your French immersion skills, you both were right that the translation is not a great one. So when we look at the lyrics of Oui, tu es mon ami, that's not anywhere near Big City Woman. So,
No.
and the grammar police in me, because as you know in French, as you remember, objects have genders.
Yes, that's a big deal in French.
Very
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal, yes. So if I look at the translation that I found online, he refers to ami as M-A-I, which signifies male, because a female would be ami with an I-E at the end. So really nothing to do with a big city nor a woman.
So we have the transliterated lyrics where he's talking about a woman. He uses she, right?
Well, yeah.
And so then in the French lyrics, she's being used and then it's masculine
Yes.
and the chorus.
Now, that's if the lyrics I found online were
Right.
correctly, transcribed. But yeah, so right then and there, he's in the translated version, he's singing about a friend who is male.
Right, okay. Now, we also have things we didn't know. Mon ami, we just figured was just, you're my buddy, my friend.
Yes.
But you had more info about mon ami.
Right. So you would refer to your friend as an ami, or the slang for a girlfriend or boyfriend would be ami as well.
Right, okay.
So I could see where they were maybe going with that. Someone you thought of more than just a friend. But the term, if they were to translate it correctly, the term for a woman living in a city would be citadine.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you look at the creative translation they did, I don't know about singing about a citadine would have flowed with the song itself. So maybe that's why they reverted back to ami and trying to get, people to enjoy the French version using a term that even people with grade 7 immersion would understand what ami meant.
Right. Now, I'm going to try this. Frank's not here. Usually he's the guy to sing, but if I were, what was the phrase again? Is it citadine?
Citadine.
Citadine. Okay. I know I got that dien part right. And thank you for looking away as I tried to speak. But how's this? Citadine.
Okay, maybe that would have worked,
Yeah.
actually.
Even someone with grade 7 French immersion knows we could
It's
fix
true.
this up.
You could re-record it, maybe.
That's right. That would be awful and wonderful at the same time. What do you think about the bon c'est bon part? I told Frank, I think if you're singing this in French, you should have switched it over to something in English.
It's good.
Good.
It's
That's good. Yeah. They should have done something a little more fun.
Right. Maybe. Yeah, they could have. I mean, I think it's pretty catchy. And I think a lot of people probably remember that part of the song.
Right.
So maybe that's why they decided to keep it in. But yeah, it would have been interesting to have the French lyrics with that kind of catchy tune in English.
Okay. Well, now another question for you. Do you think those who lived in Quebec and any Francophone in Canada would have felt that this was just a cheap attempt at making money?
Well, that was what I did a little bit of deep dive on this. Why would a band from Calgary suddenly translate a song into French? And apparently they performed at Expo 67,
Right, yeah.
and they had a bit of a cult following in Montreal. So I think maybe to play on that, they decided to throw a French version at people in Montreal and hope that they would still enjoy it. So
Right.
I don't remember ever hearing this song in French. So when you brought it up to me, it's the first time I'd heard the song in English, but I didn't know it existed in French. And maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Now, I also have a general question about like these sort of attempts because you grew up bilingual. And so there's songs you really like in French. And when they try to translate it to English, something's lost. And the reverse is true as well.
Absolutely. And I think this is the case in point. It just got lost in translation.
Yeah.
That, the original is always the best.
And we can handle songs in other languages, Stampeders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us for the podcast again. We will be bringing you back to do a proper episode where we don't have to just keep referring to you as our French specialist.
Well, thanks for having me back. I don't mind being typecast at all. I'm clearly okay with that.
Okay. And I want to just say personally that had you been my French teacher in grade 7, I think I would have actually gone on and done the DELF in grade 12.
Well, that's good to hear. You can say that to my students this semester. They might think differently of that.
Okay. All right, Frank. Well, there we go. Some great analysis from Melanie Bourque again.
Yeah, I know. She's killing it.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have a lot of categories to go through here.
No.
No. Where would you most likely hear this song?
I would hear it at a carnival.
Yeah.
It has a very carnival feel.
Virgil Stampede.
Yes.
For a local thing.
Yeah.
Those really dangerous rides. Like the ones that featured in the fourth season of, or is it the third season? Fourth season of Stranger Things.
Oh, I can't remember.
Those terrifying places. The fun house and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear the guitar.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're talking about the fourth season when they play Master of Puppets.
I knew you'd bring that up. You just want to talk about Master of Puppets.
Oh, I love that song so much.
I don't see it being a guilt-free pleasure. I don't know, Frank.
Is there a Metallica song that we could do as a guilt-free pleasure?
I don't know.
What about The Unforgiven?
Oh,
or
my
one?
goodness. Okay, next category.
Okay.
You got a top 10 list?
Yes.
Okay.
So this reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart the week of October 23rd, 1971.
Okay.
So there's a pretty good little top 10 here. Number 10, If You Really Love Me by Stevie Wonder.
One of the greatest songs ever. And I could say that about so many Stevie Wonder songs. And it's amazing how young he was and how
Yes.
in control he was already.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Number 9, theme from Shaft, Isaac Hayes.
Crazy. This is crazy already.
Number 8, Sweet City Woman by the Stampeders.
Yep.
7, Go Away Little Girl, Donny Osmond.
Okay.
Going to show up again on the charts.
And you know what? There's a chink in every armor. And we got some Donny Osmond stuff here. Oh, boy. Okay.
Do You Know What I Mean by Lee Michaels.
Don't know that, but
Don't know that
I
one.
know the Oasis song.
The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down by Joan Baez.
I don't get this at all. I don't get how that even gets to number 5.
Yeah.
I've never heard her version of it. And there's no way it's going to rank with the band's version. This
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
I'm just getting angry now.
Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves by Cher.
Apparently a huge song of the day. Did you know that song?
Oh, yeah. You didn't
Oh.
know this song? Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
a great song.
Yeah.
Donny Osmond is back with Yo-Yo with the Osmonds.
Oh, great. They're all together.
Yeah.
Okay, save us here. Give us something good for number 2.
Superstar Bless the Beasts and Children by Carpenters.
Amazing. That's such a great song.
That was number 2. And number 1 is Maggie May / Reason to Believe by Rod Stewart.
Wow, double A side.
Yeah.
Same with Superstar Bless the Beasts and Children.
Yeah.
Man, well, that is pretty big. Stampeders are in good company.
Very good company, yes.
I got the Canadian top 10, but I'll give you the top 5 anyways.
Yeah, because it was number 1 in Canada, right?
Yeah. They're number 1, Sweet City Woman. Number 2 is You Got a Friend, James Taylor.
Nice.
Number 3, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, the Bee Gees.
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
And then Dragging the Line, Tommy Jones or Tommy James?
Tommy James and the Shondells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
great song.
Take Me Home, Country Road, John Denver.
Oh, that's
number 5.
awesome. That's a great top 5.
Yeah. So, and just a bonus, number 6, Don't Pull Your Love Out on Me, Baby. Do you remember that song by one of the greatest titled bands of all time? By Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds.
Wow. Okay, yes. I know this song.
Don't pull your love out on me, baby. If you do, then I think to maybe I'll just lay me down right for 100 years. Don't pull your love out.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a great song.
I think I found the guilt-free pleasure of the future.
That's a great... Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. So there's our Canadian top 6.
Yeah.
Did you bring a mixtape to the proceedings, Frank?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different themes throughout the song lyrically, but I decided to go with the texture. Songs that feel like Sweet City Woman.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with the cover of Rolling Stone by Dr. Hook.
Okay.
You know that song?
Yeah.
It's great. Life's Been Good, Joe Walsh.
Yeah, very good.
Afternoon Delight, Starland Vocal Band.
I don't have anything to say to that. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. And then I'm finishing it all off with In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Bon c'est bon, you would say.
Bon, c'est bon. Bon, c'est bon. All right. So I decided to go with songs featuring banjos.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not picking every single song in the world, just a couple.
Basically 5 Mumford and Sons songs.
Exactly. Number 1, Mumford and Sons. Little Lion Man.
Okay.
Okay. Next, Rainbow Connection. Kermit the Frog.
Okay. I almost went with the banjo theme just so I could have Rainbow Connection on mine too.
And then I have, let's see. So that's 2. Number 3, James Taylor on the banjo. Old Man.
Oh.
Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm going to pick a song that I can't hear the banjo in, but I think it's in there. Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Okay.
At least in the video, they're playing a banjo.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a banjo in there. And then I'm going to go with the most banjoist banjo player of all. Not the Deliverance song, although that could have worked. I'm going to pick Sufjan Stevens. And you can pick any song, but I'm going to go with, He Woke Me Up Again, the Seven Swans album, which is a work of beauty. And that's what I'm going with.
Okay. Nice. Bill, why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
I feel that people are trying to escape the city. Sweet City Woman's going to chew you up and spit you out, prodigal son.
Exactly.
Yeah, watch out.
It's like the man-eater.
Yeah. The other idea I did have for my mixtape was about getting out of the city.
Oh, that would be a good one, yeah.
So just to give you that as an alternate, I couldn't find enough songs, but I had an idea of doing Hot Child in the City.
Oh, yeah, Nick Gilder.
We talked about. And then Midnight Train to Georgia, like getting out of LA, right? Get out of LA.
Well, that'd be great, yeah.
And then I was going to throw on some CanCon, because we are a Canadian podcast, The Weaker Thans, Left and Leaving.
Nice.
So there's mixtape part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
Sweet, 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 sweet city woman. Sweet, 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 sweet city woman. Sweet, 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 sweet city woman.
So that was a fun little journey through a fun little song.
Yes.
Sweet City Woman by the Stampeders, a song I didn't even know was by Canadians.
Yeah.
Should have with the French in it, but honestly, I forgot that French was even in the song. It is such a happy, poppy, fun, bouncy song.
That's right. A true guilt-free pleasure. And, when I look at the lyrics here, I also think about our own listeners, right? We don't hear a lot from listeners always because people listen and, they're not going to go through the show notes, look for our Gmail, type it in, or go on Spotify and respond to us, although we do appreciate it.
Yeah, do you think people maybe are intimidated by us, that they don't think that they could reach out to us?
Do you think, Frank, that they can kind of see our face? Not really, but they can hear our voice, and they might feel that they can almost touch us. I was trying to incorporate the lyrics, but that got really weird there with the touch us.
Really
Let me
weird,
try that.
yeah.
All right, let me flip it around because this would sound even better, right, Frank? If we said, hey, we really appreciate the listeners, and it feels like we can almost see your face, we can almost hear your voice, we can almost touch you. And we hope we do that through our podcast.
You've been listening to Kyle and Steve's Guilt-Free Pleasures.
Bon, c'est bon. Bon, bon, c'est bon.